Alright. Hello and welcome to anyone watching this past, present, or future, and welcome to another installment of Pan asking, what is this sorcery? As today we're going to sort of delve into and experimenting with complete homebrew, working with nothing but our own home ingredients. No UA to work off of. We're going from scratch. We're going nothing, boss. But I feel like over the last 3 streams of going over sort of what I want of Sorcerer and what I like about homebrewing Sorcerer, I think I've gotten a good general pattern. At first level, we're going to be kind of generous, having 2 to 3 features, including the magic, including what spells we're going to get. So we functionally, instead of having like 15 spells, we're going to function at about 25 spells, which is much better. Also gives players a chance to have spells they might not normally pick, which I think is kind of fun. And then we go to like fun core gimmick. Level 6 would be like an ability we can maybe use our sorcery points in to be a bit spicy, especially because our players should know how to use them by that point. And level 14, 18 we go necking futs. Because like that's like game ender stuff anyway. But yeah, we're gonna see. I have not done any thinking about what I want this to be, because I found whenever I do D&D related streams, that has to do with me like theory crafting or like talking about things and exploring Wikidot. I find that the more prepared I am, the more of a mess I am. And the more I try so hard to get onto a topic instead of just let it just free flow. Let it just become like a dam that I broke. Not that I ever would do that. Stop with the allegations. I've never broken any dams. I haven't. Stop talking. You never did it. I never did it. Don't listen to the 5 o'clock news who says there's a mysterious, fancy clothed deer boy with green hair and arcane powers that did it. I didn't do it. I slowly transitioned to that one kid from Polar Express. But yeah. So we're gonna get rid of Magic Pad. We're gonna get rid of miscellaneous loading screen. I'm gonna get right into the information. First I have to go to the Pokemon damage calculator because fate is a cruel thing. Hello, Dono! How are you doing? We're trying to make a phase sorcerer. Over the last few days, or last week or so, been remaking old UA, old beta tested material of Sorcerer and trying to make them more modern, a bit more polished up. And if you're interested in any of that, we have got 3 revamped sorcerers right in our Discord. All you have to do is go to the Homebrew Culture, which I think is one of the bottom channels, and you'll be able to see all the PDFs of us redoing the Phoenix Soul, Sea Sorcery, and Stone Sorcerer, which are all respective elemental types. The Phoenix Soul is a subclass we revamped to be very offensive with fire magic, but also have a bit more durability with temporary hit point. With I believe, let's see, what did we do with that one exactly? Because we did damage, and we also gave like some supportive capabilities with like Fairy Fire, Revivify, and allowing us to be offensive, but also get a little bit more survivability as well. Yeah, we also enabled us to get sorcery temporary hit points we enter our main gimmick phase, so that's pretty nice. We also got the Sea Sorcerer, who's more of a debuffer, as we focused more so on Curse of the Sea and seeing how we can apply several debuffs instead of just making the gimmick a you are water now. Congratulations, you are water, and you can survive. Was kind of the main gimmick they tried to do in Sea Sorcerer, so revamped that so it's more of a debuff class. that also has mobile options, but really more focused on debuffing and also control around the battlefield. Lastly, just yesterday we did the Stone Sorcerer, which is the Coast initial attempt at doing a martial sorcerer, which they've tried to do once again, but also might not get published till later this year. Where we made him more proficient with like weapons, gave him shields, gave him an AC buff, and let them reduce damage, and give them ways to give other people reduced damage on bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage, so they can feel really tough. But now we have the Fey Sorcerer, and I may be looking around and seeing what we may want out of Fey Sorcerer, right? Because like initially when I see people, you know what let's do? Let's look at other people's homework. Let's see what other people have done on the D&D Wiki. Which, if you don't know, D&D Wiki is not where you get all your reliable information. No. This is where the homebrew is. This is where a lot of people post their homebrew. And I think it's got an example of what I would have thought initially I would have done in a post-Xanathar's Sorcerer. Like, at that time, I would be like, oh, this is the way you should make Sorcerer. Let's see, where's our Fae? Yeah, we got a few Faes, but I think this one's the one I'm kind of thinking of. So let's vibe check this this example of homebrew, right? And I'm gonna look at another one because it seems to be 2 Fae blood here, and it's sort of like I want to sort of address like critiques I have of people who try to do Fae blood lines, or even just homebrew sorcery, just because like honestly Wikidot the D&D Wiki either has the coolest fucking shit or the most lame, uninspired, like, well, you did it, and now it feels like you just took up a slot that maybe one person's bold enough to replace. But, yeah, so this one, they just straight up stole the Warlock's first level ability, which, like, I never want, whenever I homebrew anything, I never want to step on anyone else's toes. Because, like, that's just really boring. And if I wanted that, I would just be playing a Phaelok and reflavor it, right? Because you could very easily reflavor a Warlock as a Sorcerer if you pitch it more so as it's an innate power, but they only have, like, bursts of power at a time, right? And that's where you get the big spells. But, like, you know, okay, so we only get that. Druid spells is cool, but like it's not bad, but a lot of the druid spells are good because you can make them interchangeable, as opposed to you just have them forever now, I guess. So it's kind of mixed. It's not quite like with Divine Soul, where I feel like Divine Soul really stands out as a support, or like even if you are going the druid spell list, you get a lot of those spells anyway, and you're really only getting access to like druid exclusives, which is fine, but I feel like we could just get some that you would want for free instead of being like they're an option. Like with Divine Soul I don't really mind, because I think with that you really can be flexible what kind of god you come from by what kind of cleric spell. But I don't know, with druid spell it feels different, it hits different. Not a bad idea. It is definitely a good idea at the time, because like when was this made? Does it show us when it's made? Wikipedia doesn't do that. Okay. And the other first level feature is Fey Blood, which lets us read, speak, and write Sylvan, which is understandable. Communicate basic thoughts and feelings with beasts and plants within 10 feet. Advantage on being charmed. So I kind of like the idea of maybe like able to communicate to beasts and plants. That's kind of cute. An advantage of being charmed is always nice, but it doesn't feel like connected. It's kind of like feels like a rough draft of an idea. Fey walking at level 6. Your walking speed is increased by 10 feet, and you can move through difficult terrain covered by plants without penalty while wearing light or no armor, and you are not using a shield. You also get advantage on signals against being impeded by magical manipulated plants. So that's just way too niche. I understand a lot of people like to incorporate plants and nature into it, but it's also like the Fae aren't just about plants and nature. It's their themes, but like Fae walking, other than 10-foot movement speed, doesn't really feel great. And if you were multi-classing to a way to get armor for some reason, because like you probably want to be like, oh, I like AC, and I like to cast these spells. Oh, I can't do that? Well, darn. Alright, and it takes till level 14 for us to actually use sorcery points as bonus action or reaction. That's kind of cool. Taking damage, you may spend 2 sorcery points to teleport to a point you can see within 30 feet. It's not occupied. Also, to regain half your sorcerer level. You can only use it once per round. Okay. That's actually pretty cool. I think the healing is kind of wild, but also you're at level 14, so you know you're only getting like 7 hit points at most, 10 hit points back. But then it goes to level 18 and says you're immune to poison damage, the poison condition, and disease. You're better to get saving throws against magical effect. Why bother with poison? Why would you give Fae immunity to poison? Fae don't have immunities to poison, really. They're like one of the few extraplanar creatures that still take poison damage. Like, I get the, magic resistance is always good. But, like, that's not what we want. Because, like, I feel like with the Fae, we need to sort of be charming, we need to sort of be lively, and, maybe incorporate that nature aspect into this. So, like, here, we should ideally not just step on someone's toes, right? And feel like we're making this our own thing. I feel like we gotta make a lot more ways to embrace our Fae magics. Let's see what the other one is. I'm just curious. Okay, this one just copies the Warlock. This one just copies what the Warlock gets. With their extended spells. Like, I like they get extended spells, but like, being the homeboys don't appreciate it when you step on another class's toes. I am glad they do more modernize it. Up ancestor with your deep, and it was your ancestors' beguiling ways. You have advantage on saving for being steam charmed. You speak, read, and write Sylvan when you make a charisma check using Dragon Fae. Okay, so basically it's just advantage against being charmed and able to do the Dragon Sorcerer feature, but with Fae. Which, like, isn't bad, but also I feel like if you're already an elf, you're already getting that. Like, you're getting the double frequency in Fae, but then you're really gonna have to rely on the fact that you are gonna be doing Fae, and your DM's gonna actually build around you, the player. Right? Like, ideally a DM should be playing around the player, but DMs don't always do that. So it's always kind of a, great, but what does Glade Walker give us? First level, your affinity of nature allows you to pass through non-magical plants without being slowed by them, and without taking damage from climbing thorns, spines, or similar hazards. So that's a very niche one, and probably one your DM's not going to throw at you unless you have it, And then it kind of feels like it's more punishing the rest of the players. Because, like, yeah, this isn't something, especially because it's non-magical. If it was magical, then it could be useful, because then it could be good against if your DM tries to throw, like, spike growth at you. Or if someone tries to throw, like, Wall of Thorns, or anything like that. Or, like, Entangle. You could really be, like, the one who's able to swipe, But it really seems like people really want Fae to be very mobile, is kind of a thing. Which is kind of interesting, because, like, although I think Fae are tricksy, I don't think they're always necessarily the most mobile unless they have, like, a fly speed or something. Cunning Step. At 6th level, when a creature you can see makes a melee attack against you, you use your reaction to cause another creature within 30 feet of you to make a wisdom save. On a failed save, you can Unity creature can swap places after creature fails saving throw. You can use feature again. That feels like a weird hybrid of both the... That feels like a hybrid of Conjurer and Illusionist's level 6 ability. I kind of like that. That's kind of an idea I'm kind of considering. I like that tricksiness of like, whoop, and it doesn't work, and it doesn't burn until you actually use it. That's actually pretty good. 14 get fake clarity because of muted charm, because like hell yeah at that point in the game. In addition, you no longer need. Oh fuck that! You don't need that late game. Like it's cool, but you don't need to add it then. If you want to add it, just start from the beginning, because like it doesn't really change because you still need to rest. And also being not forced to sleep, that could be something you could add at the beginning, because elves can't be forced to sleep. Fun fact, if you didn't know. To gain benefits for long rest, you could spend... Alright, that's it? That's it, other than being immune to charm? Oh, that's not great. Or Deadly Deceit. At 18th level, you gain the ability to weave falsifies into your charms. When a creature succeeds on saving throw against an enchantment or illusion spell, you cast first level or higher, it takes psychic damage equal to your charisma modifier. Oh, that's so underwhelming. Oh no. I know, it really only has one cool ability. Okay. So, we want to focus... I definitely think enchantments are a big thing. We gotta really focus on enchantment and illusion, because that's like the real Fey wackiness. But man... Maybe something we gotta do is... Okay. Yeah, this definitely feels like a class that definitely can't be using pre-existing homebrew, at least from that source. Someone else is on here. Oops, the fuck? Oops, the fuck else is here? Wait. Oh, I am. Just on a different window. Okay. So, why don't we start with, Here, why don't we just start with something simple? Let's go with Seelie spells. Right? Some Seelie spells. That way we'll just get our spells out of the way, get that sort of there, and sort of get an idea of what kind of spells and vibe check we think are the most Fey, and build around more so that kind of play style. So, by being... Let's say from being touched, then we could use by, because it's better to not repeat words in the same sentence. From ye. In following spells. As sorcerer spells up. However, they do not count against your spells. No. Let's see the wording on, because I do like the idea of this one being a bit more flexible than the elemental ones. Let's see, let's check how, the more modern sorcerers are worded for, like, Aberrant Mind. To regain a sorcerer level, you can replace one spell you gain from this feature of the same level. The new spell must be... Okay. Ever spell from this feature. This feature may replace it with spell of enchant or illusion schools the same level. So these are suggested, but of course, if you feel like, oh, I don't really want this, you can be a bit more flexible to what kind of fae and what court you want to be a part of. So let's get that table. All right. And again, these are essentially recommendations because you can replace them. Level 5, 7, level 9. Alright. So let us see. Let's look at the Warlock as reference. Because like Fairy Fire and Sleep are good. Right? Because Fairy Fire is very fey and Sleep is also another one. But we already get Sleep. Oh, we wouldn't get Fairy Fire. Interesting. Well, let's see if there's another one that could be kind of interesting for Fae. Because, like, Sleep sure is a spell that is Fae vibed. But, like, I feel like it really only works, like, kind of as a Warlock because it automatically gets upcasted. Let's see, what other first level spells? Like, Charm Person is always a classic. You could always get that to encourage you a way to get on someone's good side, even if it's really basic. You know, just having Charm Person is nice. Yeah, because a Charm Person is, of course, Color Spray can be kind of funny. Command, I don't think, because Command, I feel like it's not just like although the Fae can be silly or demanding, I feel like it's a bit too much to rein you into that very specific pigeonhole there. Disguise Self could be funny to just have on hand to be all tricksy. Be a bit of a trickster, but that's something you could always replace for a spell you get if you wanna be more of like a changeling kind of vibe. Like Hex is fun fact, Hex is a spell you can get through Fey Touch, but I feel like here that'd be more so if we're going for like a witch sorcerer. And even though we did that with the seas. Speak with animals. We could just get a feature at one point that lets us speak to animals. We can include it with Sylvan. Because that can make things feel pretty whimsical. Yeah, I think we'll keep Sleep as the default, and if you as a player feel like you want to change it, you can. I am kind of like, man, that does work for Fae pretty well. Of having Sleepies and Fairy Fire, but like we will actively try to not repeat all of them. So I'm just gonna have Warlock on standby, Archfey, to make sure if we're not just overlapping each other too much. See, I don't think we'll get Common Motions or like Phantasmal Force we may get, because that one's kind of funny. That was kind of a silly one. Because a calm motion could be pretty nice in the sense of that could be a good way to neutralize, but I feel like it's a bit too peaceful. I feel like they are more so like what's funny. And that's not really funny. Ooh, I know what second level spell we can definitely pick up. We definitely gotta pick up Nithar's Mischief. Because Nithar's Mischief is basically you create a funny little 20-foot cube that has Fey and Draconic magic. And you get to activate the Mischief Surge at the beginning of your turn. And you can even move up to 10 feet. It could get a smell of apple pie that can charm creatures. Bouquets of flowers will appear, and each creature in the cube must succeed a dexterity saving throw or be blinded by all the petals and water sprayed into the face. The petals spray water into their face. Oh, how wacky. Each creature in the cube must succeed a wisdom saving throw or begin giggling until the start of their next turn. A giggling creature is incapacitated and uses all its movement in a random direction, or drops and molasses appear and hover in the cube, turning it into difficult terrain until the start of your next turn. So good wackiness right there. Me and the homies love the idea of Nithar's Mischief. Steve. Let's see. Misty Step would be pretty good. Because that's another big Fae vibe one. Because a lot of Fae tend to have a teleportation option. Again, to be little tricksters. And it's always good for a sorcerer to have, especially because you feel like you're probably not going to be one that's going to be in the middle. Yeah, let's go for Misty Step, because Misty Step is oftentimes a Fae core spell in the game. Let's see, Bestow Curse is possible, but like I don't want to just throw that in because like although if they do curses, I don't think it's what most players are going for. I get Blink a baby to be like a little trickster of going in and out, but Blink's not a good spell. I wouldn't suggest that for any players. Mostly because it's only like a 50% chance for you to actually have the spell work every turn. And it's concentration. Oh, it's not concentration. Enemies are bound to be really funny or fast friends, but like that could depend more so what you want. Hypnotic Pattern could be pretty good. Because that's like real pretty. Major Image would also be nice, because that'd be like you essentially just be like, behold! Plant Growth is a spell that would be very fitting, but Plant Growth is not good. The reasoning, Your Honor, it's not good to cast in the battlefield. It's good to cause if you want to cause chaos. But how the spell works is it became a bard spell? Fucking win. Is that in Tasha's that it became a bard spell? Why? Alright. Spell channels vitality implants within a specific area, causing two things to happen. If you cast a spell using it as one action, choose a point within range of 150 feet. All normal plants at a 100-foot radius centered onto that point become thick and overgrown, and any creature moving through must spend 4 feet of movement for every 1 foot. So it's double difficult terrain. It's basically a way for you, if you want to basically stop a group of enemies or anything to come to you, but also because it is an absurd amount. But also, it's one that, like, if you are ever in, it's gonna be a pain because you're moving at double difficult terrain, which is absurd. Like, you need to dash to go. If your creature goes 30 feet, you have to dash to go 15 feet. And it's the worst. It's the worst. It's pretty rough. And I've been in it again, and also when it comes to, like, God, how much would ideally player movement be if they were stuck in there because you just had to do it? So 30 feet divided by 4, 7, it's like 1 cube a turn, 1 space a turn. It's rough. Oh, you can exclude 1 or more areas of any size within the spell being affected. Oh, I didn't actually know that. Oh, okay, so you can really control what it looks like. Interesting. Okay. So you can really actually perfectly control it if you know what you're doing. And it lasts. Alright, and it just is instantaneous, so it just is like that now. If you cast a spell over 8 hours, universal land or all plant life in half-mile radius, centered on the point within range, becomes enriched for 1 year. The plants yield twice the normal amount of food when harvested. That's cute. I think we will actually keep plant growth. There, and like blink. Yeah, I don't want blink. I may pick up like hypnotic. I may put hypnotic pattern on there because that one's a goodie. That one's a good old reliable meat. Homeboys love some hypnotic patties. Intellect Fortress maybe be wild. Okay, just does the saving throws. Okay. Let's see. Summon Fae. Tiny Servant would be cute. Oh, a Tiny Servant would be real cute because it'd be like cute and like personifying things. That'd be like you're able to just personify a little creature. You're making your own Pinocchios. Oh, I'm gonna look at Tiny Servants. You may touch one tiny non-magical object that isn't attached to another object or surface that isn't being carried or by another creature. The target animates and sprouts little arms and legs. Become a creature under your control until the spell ends, or the creature drops to 0 hit points. It's that block below. As a bonus action, you can mentally command the creature that's within 120 feet of you. If you control multiple creatures with this spell, you can command all of them. Oh, it sure isn't concentration. You can just do it a lot over a day. They can do the same thing, issuing the same command to each one. You decide what action the creature will take, where it will move during the next turn, or can issue a simple general command, such as fetch a key, stand watch, or stack some books. If you issue no commands, the servant does nothing and defends itself against hostile creatures. Once you give an order, the servant continues to follow the order until the task is complete. If the creature drops 0 hit points, it reverts to its original form, and any remaining damage carries over to that original form. Yeah, it's not really an attacker, but it's a good utility spell. I think that's cute. I think that's really cute. Ba-ba-ba-ba. Charm Monster could be nice, because that could be a way for us to sort of get in with any kind of creature. Confusion could be silly, because Confusion is essentially roll to see if you have a turn if you fail the Wisdom saving throw. It's basically like Nafar's mischief on a more risky, dangerous scale. Do do. Grasping Vine could be okay, but I feel like don't really want to go with that. Like we could do that, or Giant Insect. That could also be kind of fun. Guardian of Nature. Because that would turn us to more of a martial boy, right? Yeah, because usually it's a Xanathar spell. But if it's primal, it'll increase the movement speed by 10. Dark Vision, strength-based roll, attack rolls at advantage, but that implies we have that, and we do extra force damage if we become a tree. Only 10 temporary hit points. Advantage of Constitution saves, hey, which is bad. Make dexterity and wisdom saving throws. Based attacks with advantage, which is a shame because we don't use wisdom. And while you're on the ground, okay. Not the best for a sorcerer. Really good spell. It's not for sorcerer. Let's see. Because we can look at Giant Vine or Giant Insect. That's always a fun one. Polymorph. Honestly, Polymorph's very fey. Because do you know how many fairy tales are? You are become this now. Have fun, bucko. Yeah, I think we're gonna have Polymorph for sure. Because like it's always specifically animals too, which is like the fun part. You get to be like the fairy tale creature that turns someone into a pig or into a frog. Become sheep. Let's see. Monster, maybe. Yeah, because we determine. Oh, let's look at Grasping Vine or Giant Insect. So you conjure a vine that sprouts from the ground on unoccupied space. You can, your choice that you can see within range. You cast a spell. When you cast a spell, you can direct a vine to lash at a creature within 30 feet of you that you can see. The creature must succeed a dexterity saving throw or be pulled 20 feet directly towards the vine. Until the spell ends, each creature, you can direct the vine to lash at the same creature or another one as a bonus action on each of your turns. So basically, you are doing battlefield manipulation, but as a bonus action, just yoink! Doing the big yoinky splinkies. Which could be pretty fun of like, environmental control and making it feel more like you're manipulating nature. I like that. Let's double check, Giant Insect. I think we're probably gonna go for Grasping Vine, though. Freedom of movement. That one could also be very fey. Because, yeah, you touch a willing creature for the duration of the target. Who is unaffected by difficult terrain and spells and other magical effects that can neither reduce the target's speed, target or paralyze, or be restrained. The target spends 5 feet if it's, because that's a bit of a trickster. I mean, even in evocations, like tricksters escape. Wait, can sorcerers even get that? They can't. An idea and a thought. But Grasping Vine kind of is in flavor, though. Alright, let's also check up on Giant Insect, because I just kind of want to know Giant Insect. Alright, you transform up to 10 centipedes, 3 spiders, 5 wasps, or 1 scorpion within range into a giant version of the natural forms for the duration. A centipede becomes a giant centipede, a spider becomes a giant spider, a wasp becomes a giant wasp, and a scorpion becomes a giant scorpion. Each creature obeys your verbal commands, and in combat, they act, you can act on your turn each round. The DM has stats for the creatures. Okay. Alright, that sounds cool. We're gonna do Grasping Vine. This spell does kind of feel like a little all over the place. Like, it makes sense. It does. I swish. Animate objects, I feel like. Animate objects or awaken would be good spells, I think. To maybe just get. Because animate objects would of course be like a evolution of Tiny Servant of just you being the like just almost like Beauty and the Beast style, just animating inanimate objects to become vessels of your wackiness. Awaken could also be like an extension of like, oh yeah, I made this animal able to talk and speak now. I made the trees speak. So that could be a fun one. Either one of those could be fun. Do. Oh wait, is this also where we get Seeming? I think we can get Seeming at this point too, right? Oh, we also got really good wackiness. Yeah, because they get Seeming, because of course they do. Why wouldn't they get Seeming? So, Seeming is a wacky one. So, I think this is the one that's... Wait, no, I want to do Mislead. Mislead is the funny one. Mislead's the real silly one. Because, Seeming basically is a mask disguise self. But Mislead is really funny. So, Mislead makes you invisible and at the same time creates an illusionary duplicate that doubles your appearance and where you were standing. The double lasts for the duration, which is up to an hour, but the invisibility ends if you attack or cast a spell. So, ideally, even if your invisibility wears off, you could, in theory, just have two of you around and confuse people. But the illusion still lasts for an hour, and it's somatic too, so you don't even have to make any verbal components. You can just do it and start moving immediately. You can use your action to move your illusionary double up to twice your movements, twice your speed, and make it just her speak and behave in whatever way you choose. So it seems really fast compared to you, and you're able to just speak through it freely. You can see through the eyes and hear through its ears if you're, as if you're located where it is. On each of your turns, as a bonus action, you could switch from using its senses to your own, or back again. When using its senses, you are blinded, deafened regarding your own surroundings. So it's a real wacky one because it'd be like, yes, I could be two places at once, so it would see you. And that one can lead to a lot of shenaniganery. The real question is, like, animate object sounds really fun, and I don't think sorcerers get it, do they? Okay, they do, but it's guaranteed. It's a lot of numbers, though. It sure is some number cruncher. But it sure is you being able to just take some other objects that are allowed, and you basically have like a little stat block for them to use, and just animate so many things. It really just allows you. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read this fucking monster. Objects come to life at your command, choosing up to 10 non-magical objects within range that are not being worn or carried. Medium targets count as 2 objects, large count as 4 objects, and huge targets counts as 8 creatures. You can animate any object. You can't animate any object larger than huge. Each creature, each target animates becomes a creature under your control until spell ends, or they're reduced to 0 hit points. So, for example, I could animate a gazebo and count as a huge creature, and give it an 80 hit points and 10 AC, and deal 2d12 damage, 2d12 plus 4 damage, and then get like 2 more things animated as well. Like, that's pretty silly. Cause like, oh. Yeah, because like the bigger it is, the easier it is to hit, but like the harder it hits. But like you can get real wacky with it. Again, like I'd be like, I'd like to animate gazebo. I'm going to animate this car. The car is now alive, and really allows you to do a lot of big wackos. Animate object, its contract with DC, hit points, etc. to the chart there. Its constitution is 10, intelligence, wisdom are 3, and charisma 1. Its movement speed is 30. If the object lacks legs or other appendages, it uses for locomotion. It instead has a flying speed of 30 feet and can hover. If the object is secretly attached to a surface or larger objects such as a chain bolted to a wall, its speed is 0 and has blind sight with a radius of 30 feet and is blind beyond the distance. When an animated object drops 0 hit points, it reverts to its original form, and remaining damage carries over to the original object. If you command an object to attack, it makes a single attack against a creature within 5 feet of it. It makes a slam attack with an attack roll bonus, so it's basically over there. Flex slashing or piercing damage based on the form. Not bludgeoning, huh? Interesting. But yeah, it's... I really like the idea of animating a gazebo or something silly. But I feel like it really leads to that fantasy of just like, hello, yes, I would like to personify things. Because I feel like it's a big part of fairy tales and fays. Give it life. Yeah, I'm just curious. Where are some things? Let's see, it's like Clockwork Source, for example. Okay, it does the magic first, and then the general ability. Okay. Let's see. So, yeah, with these spells, we sort of made ourselves a bit of a troublemaker with Fairy Fire being able to be a call-out post for folks, and Sleep to get us away from problems, Defar's Mischief to cause problems on purpose, Persistent to get out of the way. Plant Growth then is when we start getting more nature powers into it. Tiny Servants is when we start like animating, personifying these things. Polymorph is when we get to be a fairy tale creature and turn things into other animals. Grass provides some extension of plant growth. And Misleads to Mischief, and Animate Objects is more so for wacky Beauty and the Beast to climax when the villagers come in to try and kill the beast. Mob Song, 1993? One, damn it. Do. Let's see. Because I do see that, like, yeah, I am kind of seeing that being attuned to nature is kind of a big deal for the Fae, and it's kind of a big thing, so maybe what we could do is, just instead of communicate thoughts, just like, no, you just have beast speech and plant speech active all the time, because those are pretty harmless things to have. Maybe, because, like, it's okay to have, like, 2 features at level 1, aside from the spellcasting stuff, because, like, that one's more of a flavor thing. So, let's start with... Butcher's Ambassador. This Butcher Ambassador. I was to make that up, up, up. Then we shrink it to up, up, up. Alright. At first level. In Giant. Gain the ability to speak to both beasts and lands at will. Up, 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 up. Allowing you to not only obey odds and bump, bump, bump. Oh, you know, it'd be really silly. It'd be really silly if we could apply spells that normally don't enchant beasts and plants to charm them. So, like, say if we have Charm Person, we can just schmooze the plants or animals with a level 1 spell. Oh, then we definitely gotta have Charm Person set to sleep. Like, we gotta. If we want to go with that idea. And specifying that they can speak back to you, because oftentimes you may notice in even the first homebrew we're looking at, that one was trying to tell us like, oh, you can communicate to them and they'd understand you. But I think it's really cool that you just have that innate ability that you can even understand them, you know? And I think that's kind of silly, kind of funny. And yeah. Also, let's make this screen a little bit. Oh, too big. Alright. Let's see. So, we do that. Actually, you may use spell charm. You may apply it to beasts or plants, even when like do. Yeah, now you could do Charm Person onto a fucking doll, onto a tree. Like, you could get, you know, animal friendship. But this is essentially you're able to charm a tree too that you're talking to, or like any kind of plans to work a certain way for you and make you sort of feel like you are maybe not one with nature, but you're able to communicate with nature, and in a wacky way. Here, we're gonna change sleep for Charm Person then, because I feel like Charm Person is gonna be so important for if you want this, and it's kind of like your initial gateway, because it does save you from like early game needing to have, again, animal friendship, which I think normally is... I think that's usually a Druid and Ranger spell. Or Bard. You could pick it up. But, like, Charm Person's just the better version for you to do it, and it's kind of like big thing for you to allow this build of wacky shenanigans, and you were able to maybe get a lot of information and be really social and have some really weird roleplay. And we'll add another first little feature, so we get a bit wackier. Let's see. What do we have? Fey lineage, completely different from Fey ancestry. You know what? I also feel like we should just get the Vicious Mockery cantrip for free. Because I think that's really fun and really silly, actually. Actually, we should give him, like, let's give him, like, a small selection of a bonus cantrip. Spells known. So let's go Druidcraft if you want to go for a nature vibe check. Do bum, 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 bum. Bum, bum. Let's see, anything like I feel like 3 would be a really good option. Can sorcerers get Thornrip? They can. It's not great, but it's a choice. Let's see. What if that Minor Illusion and or Vicious Mockery? That way, you get to pick what kind of vibe check of what kind of Fae you want to be. Like, do you want to go more into the idea of you being more nature vibe? Do you want to have a bonus minor illusion? So you get to be more so like, ooh, look at this. I can provide you all of this. Or Vicious Mockery to be a bully. You could be a bully. It's fine. It's fine. Level 1, let's say a Fey ancestry to sort of check for reference for the elves. And maybe reward either half-elf, elf, or gnome players by giving them if they already have Fey ancestry, maybe do a little bit of a bonus. So yeah, let's look at Fey ancestry. Banners themselves being charmed and can't be put, and magic can't put you to sleep. Do 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 do. Assisted. saving throws against being charmed. Okay. Have being charmed. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. Ooh, okay. I get third level. Cause yeah, let's check for reference, let's check the wording of how, because I kind of have an idea. I have a thought process from you. I have a system. Perfect. Yeah, at third level. To Sorcery. Rights to let's check the let's actually check the Fey Wanderers charm bounce, because I don't want to step on its toes too much, especially because we're getting this at level 1. You know? Okay, this is only for charm. This is for frightened. We're not making it 120 feet. We're probably going to make it a lot smaller. And probably just on self. Only on self. As opposed to others. Because, like, Beguiling Twist's a lot more powerful. Target 30 feet. Charmed. Alright, so this would allow us to, again, do it in a smaller range than Beguiling Twist, because Beguiling Twist is actually really powerful and does for 2 conditions. This is very specifically for anything that has a charm effect, and at level 3 we can start balancing it back and make it to not necessarily the attacker itself, but we can just put it on to someone else if we want to. And it's a bit expensive at level 3, but of course as you go on it's gonna get like a bit more of a, ooh, that would be cool and kind of niche. It encourages you to use the sorcery points. You succeed against a saving throw, I could be charmed. You spend 2 points, target to force. Wisdom saving throw will using your spell DC. Let's see, how do they word it there? How do they phrase it structurally and grammatically? Let's see. Okay, it's a big sentence. Okay. Force the target within 30 feet, force from saving so this spell save DC. Failure. minute. Alright, their turn for 1 minute. The target can keep the sit at the end of their turn. Turn that down a little bit. There we go. Let's see. Yeah, they repeat the end of each of their turns. Turns, ending the effect early if succeeding. Let's see. The Washington, D.C. But yeah, basically allows you to not only have advantage, but if you do get charmed, you can just go boom, have like a cool clutch moment, go like, no, actually this person gets charmed. And it's not as powerful as Beguiling Twists, and it also uses resources. Beguiling Twists is just sort of a thing you can do as a ranger, so I don't feel like it steps on its toes. And it's like, yeah, you get it earlier, and you get to use sorcery points to just make it better too, also. And even if you're an elf, if an elf or a gnome, it makes you also feel like, oh cool, I can use this and not feel like I just get nothing out of this. Especially because most people are playing at level 3, right? Or starting at level 3. Not many people start at level 1. So, if you're starting at level 1, it can be nice on anyone who isn't an elf, but if you're playing an elf, you're probably not going to have to wait too much longer for you to feel like you're getting something different there. Alright, so let's think what we want for a 6th level feature, because I do like it when we have means to use not necessarily metamagic, but sorcery points, right? I notice a lot of people like it when like Fae have like mobility options, and like Fae can have mobility options, sure, but like I feel like the real thing people like about Fae, or like the real fantasy of it, is the nature vibe check and the mischievous nature of it. So I think we need to more focus on like maybe our enchantment and illusion capabilities. So let's see, what else could we use sorcery points to do? Let's see, how can we... So I do feel like maybe we can use it to make, I feel like this one has to be making the world around us different using our magic, because, Fae or the Fair folk tend to have a power over the world around them. So, let's see. Because, like, determining the effect will determine how many sorcerer points we want to use for it, right? Ooh, wait, let's actually look at something like hallucinatory terrain. Because I think that could be a premise for an ability. It's attributes to cube. Makes it look, sound, smell like another terrain. The open fields or roads make it look like they resemble a swamp, hill, crevice, or some difficult, impossible terrain. A pond can be made to seem like a grassy meadow. Basically, it makes things look like whether or not it's a massive illusion. So I don't know. That doesn't quite work with what I'm thinking in my mind's eye. Let's see. Let's see. Maybe we go even further with enchantments. Should we just go even further with enchantments, or should we dip into a bit of illusions? Because, like, I feel like this kind of build doesn't really have an anchoring mechanic, unless we want to do something more with Nature's Ambassador. Ooh, maybe because, like, maybe we can just expand what we can and cannot charm and beguile. Um, maybe we can maybe what we can do is attempt to find ways to like get our influence into nature, and around this point we're also starting to get into inanimate objects. So maybe now we can like go to an ability of charming elementals and constructs and maybe start ignoring immunity to charm. Because that could be pretty spicy. Right? And like it maybe, ooh, okay. Okay, cool. Alright, so ooh, maybe we can call it personified persuasion. Persuasion personified. Personified persuasion. We're gonna make that. Because I like the idea that you are the face, but to things that people do not think you can be a face for. You know? Like, you could just go up to, you could be the one that, like, hey, I'm gonna talk to this chair. Hey, chair, what happened here? Hey, did something whack happen? Or going up to a fire and be like, fire, alright, speak to me. Tell me your secrets. What did you see in the fireplace? Lake, what have you witnessed and seen? At level 6, you can. Ooh, maybe like briefly animate things. Maybe we can make that like a sorcery point kind of thing of like, you can briefly personify inanimate objects and pieces of nature. Alright, so why don't we extend our... Let's make the base ability, we could extend our charm effects to elementals and constructs without needing, say, charm monster, right? Because like we can save on spell slots for big charms. Extend the effect of nature's ambassador to now also charm constructs and elementals. If the creature normally is immune to the charm condition, you may make it. They can make the save. They make save with advantage. If you charm them, you are able to speak with them. They will understand you regardless of a shared niche. Actually, we can just say we're saying that we are extending the effect of nature's ambassador. I don't think we need to clarify that we speak with them normally, because we are able to speak clearly and communicate back and forth with beasts and plants, and now with personified persuasion, we're able to do that with constructs and elementals, regardless of the situation. Let's see, and to use sorcery points, I feel like sorcery points are more so less of. So with the construct, so like for example, I'm kind of thinking about the idea of using the sorcery points if we want to. We can use sorcery points to try and like say, all right, yeah, if I used personified persuasion, I could, in theory, at last charm a golem like I never could have before. I can charm the animated suit of armor when normally that would be impossible. Or I can charm the water elemental and like talk to it and get it to my side. You know, I can reason and talk with it. I think I will state you can understand regardless of shared language. Shared language. I think I'll just keep that empty unless if there is like a needed clarification. Because it's just carrying the same effective nature as Ambassador. Alright. Want to speak. May also spend, let's say, like 4 sorcery points, like something that's pretty costly at this point to try and do this. Like you're spending a good resource to do this, and even if you wanted to get those for, like, let's look at references here. Let's see, references. So yeah, this would be a little bit in between for like a 2nd and 3rd level spell equivalent. So you could get this back if you like burn a 3rd level spell, but essentially you're using a 3rd level spell for this to do this effect. I'm gonna spend 4 sorcery points to try and do and to briefly animate either inanimate objects or inanimate objects such as chair, doll, door, set. Or parts of nature, such as examples being pond. Let's see, would be a good example. What sorcery is going on in here? We are making a Fey Sorcerer from complete scratch. And we're coming up with a real social savant here. So right now we're technically about halfway through this sort of draft of the Fey Sorcerer. Initially we have Seelie spells, where we're able to get spells as we naturally level up, because that's the Sorcerer's Given right that 5e has only recently done. We are allowing players to replace any of these spells with any spells from the enchantment or illusion schools, much like how Clockwork Sorcerer and Aberrant Mind allow you to switch spells depending on what fits your vibe better. I like that little bit of flexibility, and I feel like that works a lot more for Fae, because Fae can be very different depending on what kind of court you're coming from. This is more of a general list of spells I think are applicable to Fae, but if you feel like you need Hex instead of Fairy Fire or Silent Image more, go for it. You know, you also could pick an extra cantrip of either Druid, Craftmine, Illusion, or Vicious Mockery, depending if you want to have more of a nature vibe, a Trickster, Illusionist vibe, or what we in the Feywild call a fucking bully with Vicious Mockery. Your first level, you get 2 features additionally at first level. One is Nature's Ambassador. You gain the ability to speak to both beasts and plants at will, allowing you to not only convey your thoughts and feelings to these creature types, but they can also speak back to you. Additionally, when you cast a spell that can do the charm condition, you may apply it to beasts or plants, even if it is not normally inapplicable. So you don't need to invest in charm and like animal friendship to charm an animal. You could just use charm person, and you could also use charm person on a tree, and it will talk to you better. I think that's really silly, but like could be really interesting and provide some like a really wacky roleplay. Additionally, at first level, you have advantage on saving throws from being charmed, and also are immune to being magically put to sleep. Starting at 3rd level, if you succeed against a saving throw to be charmed, you can spend 2 sorcery points to force a target within 30 feet to force a wisdom saving throw against your spell to save DC. On a failure, then a target is charmed for 1 minute. Charmed by you. We should probably state that. By you for 1 minute. Target can repeat the saving throw at the end of their turns, ending the effects early to succeeding the DC. This is a less powerful version of the Fey Wanderer's Beguiling Twists, where it has a 7th level ability, but also has 4 times the range, and does not consume any resources, and also is applied to the Frighten condition. So I think it's balanced that we can get it at first level, but spend resources and have a much lower range, and also it's if we get charmed even at advantage. It also is a way for elf or gnome players who decide to play into type to be rewarded and be able to toss these back. And recently we're working on personified persuasion. At level 6 you can extend the effect of Nature's Ambassador to now also charm constructs and elementals. If the creature is normally immune to the charm condition, they may make the save with advantage. So now, although a hi Hal. So yes, although a suit of armor, an animated suit of armor cannot normally be charmed, you have a chance to charm them, even if they do have advantage. And I think that's really funny. Or, oh, thank you for the hydrate, Hal. Or, additionally, if you want to charm the water elemental or fire elemental, you could try and do that, even though I'm pretty sure they're normally immune to it. And you can get real silly with it. Oh, I don't know why if. You may also spend 4 sorcery points to briefly animate either inanimate objects such as a chair, doll, door, pot, etc., or parts of nature, examples being a pond, fire, cloud, a rock, etc., to animate them. to animate them and be able to talk. Oh, we could just make it function as, like, speak with dead. In doing so, you may ask 5 questions. And the newly formed construct or elemental will answer truthfully. So now you have speak with construct and elemental. Which, that I feel like can add to a lot of cool role-playing things and like weird moments of the player going, I'm gonna ask the table if the other night at the bar they saw something weird. You know? And it's like really make these people seem weird. Because a phase sorcerer should seem weird. Cause like, hot take, the Fae are just neurodivergent people. Source, a neurodivergent person who is also a Fae. Summon a horror of abjuration. I am here to tell you all about the crunch. That's right, no combat, only crunch. Stwarning. Stwarning without your bet. What? I'm so curious what stwarning is. Streaming. Oh my god, I didn't know Brainworm was my best friend. That's right, I've been your best friend since I've lived in your head. What? Nothing, I didn't say anything, goodbye. Dude, I'm surprised he didn't summon Stolas. Or were you too tired and summoned the wrong thing? Hey, you can clip that, hell. You! Cause I'll be real, I'm really bad at clipping things. I'm really bad at going back to clipping things. I would have so many Danganronpa clips if I go back and watch the streams, but I don't. I'm really bad at it. Our Lady's Tears! Hello, thank you for the raid! Thank you for the raid! For those who are here, before Our Lady's Tears, shout out to Our Lady's Tears, who is doing some D&D today. Our Lady's Tears. Were you playing your fairy healer? Because if so, we are doing a phase sorcerer and focusing a lot on enchantments and wacky things you can do with them, such as allowing you to speak with animals and plants at will and being able to charm them before you're normally able to. So allowing you to do things like use charm person to charm animals and plants now, so you can talk to them better. Also allowing you to get advantage on charm effects, and if they fail, if you succeed, you can bounce the charm onto another creature. We have also recently made Personified Persuasion, where you can spread the effects of Nature's Ambassador to also charm constructs and elementals. If they're immune to the charm condition, they gain advantage on the save. We also can spend 4 sorcery points to briefly animate either inanimate objects, such as a chair, doll, door, or pot as examples, or parts of nature, such as a pond, fire, cloud, or rock, to animate them and able to talk to them. In doing so, you may ask 5 questions, and the newly formed construct or elemental will answer truthfully, essentially being a speak with dead for inanimate objects and elementals. Oh, we're getting so many summons today, huh? We're getting both Stolas and a worm. All right, so that's our wackiness, right? Now we are thankfully Sorcerer only needs to get 4 features, so we're halfway there. And most of it, I feel like, was me explaining the last few abilities to the people who were coming in and being vocal. Excusez-moi, monsieur. So at level 14, what kind of ability do we want at level 14? I noticed a lot of sorcerer abilities at this point tend to deal all extra damage, or at least a lot of the ones in UA did additional damage. Stolas looks at the worm, fighting the instinct to eat it. Oh no, dude! Imagine the valuable. Oh, you're right. He does have to consider if he wants to eat them because it could be very valuable to nourish the very poisonous plants that he cultivates. Let's see. Oh, you know, it'd be okay. Okay, so I actually want to go and look at the old Ranger because the old Fey Wanderer Ranger I thought had a really cool ability that I feel is a shame that it didn't get in the official Fey Wanderer. Let's see. So the Beguiling Plus used to do damage too. Oh, it could take damage or pass that effect. Interesting. So its capstone ability, the old Fey Wanderer had a really cool capstone where you can magically remove yourself from one creature's perception. You gain a bonus action that you can use to force a creature you can see within 30 feet of you to make a wisdom saving throw against your spell save DC. On a failed save, the target can't see or hear you for 24 hours. The target can repeat the saving throw at the end of any turn during which you hit with an attack roll, forced to make a saving throw, or deal damage to it. The effect ends early if you use this bonus action again, or on a successful save, the target is immune to this effect for 7 days. Once you use this bonus action, you can't use it again until you finish a short or long rest, or until you've expended a 4th level spell slot to do it again. So I kind of like the concept of you using a way to be completely invisible to one specific target. Like, you can't be seen, you can't be heard by them, you have just, like, cloaked yourself in this, like, little, you're not gonna be able to see me, and you can do some real wacky stuff to them throughout the day, presuming they don't beat your saving throw, because they can repeat it every time you try to do something to them. So I kind of like that ability. It's also around the same point, and we can also be like, hey, you have to use a good amount of sorcerer points. Like for us, if we are a sorcerer for a 4th level spell, that's a good chunk of sorcerer points. I think it's like 5, which even at high levels, it's like a 5th of your sorcerer points. Let's see. Yeah, it's 6. That's 6 sorcerer points, which is quite a bit to have to recover. Even if you are, because yeah, that is essentially using a 4th level slot to recover that. Let's see. Elusive Beauty. What can we call it? Trick of the Light. Let's see. What what can we call this ability? Because, like, the original Fey Wanderer had a Misty Presence. Let's see, we could call it, we could call it, we could call it Devious Deeds. The Trickster Sneaks. Ooh, maybe something with Midsummer. The Midsummer Trickster. Let's see. Ooh, maybe just a blind eye. Turning a blind eye. Just so it's a fun, simple way that it kind of conveys the idea of it. At level 14, gain a special bonus action. And force a target to make a wisdom saving throw against your spell save DC. Creature within... We'll keep 30 feet. In 30 feet to make... Especially if it's in 30 feet, that is in a possible get him range for you. You don't want that. I guess it... Consider spell save DC. Alright. On a failure, target cannot see or hear you. Functionally making you both invisible, making you visible and silent to that specific creature. Bum, bada, bum, bada, bum, bada, bum. Ooh, but how long should we make it? Should we also make it a day? Dude, Zelda music is really calming, dude. It's got that mystical, like, kind of dream-like quality to it. Let's see. Let's make it maybe not a day, like a whole day, but maybe like up to hours equal to half your sorcerer level. So you could probably be invisible for them like up to 10 hours, which is a lot of time. But like also allows you to do some really wacky stuff. Your sorcerer level. Do-do-do. Bum, bum, bada, bum, bada, bum. Because yeah, 24 hours is insane. Target can repeat the same throw at the end of any turn during which you hit. Any time that you... Let's say any time. By the end of any turn during which you hit, attack will force them to make a saving throw or deal damage to it. Alright, you, whenever the target, whenever you get an attack roll, force a saving throw on the target, or deal damage to the target. They may repeat the saving. Saving throw to perceive you. The effect ends early if they pass against. Well, I mean, understandable. Have a nice day. I am Pet Naps. I'm casting sleep on you. I'm rolling 5d8. Rolling 5d8. I'm rolling 5d8 right now. Nah, it's too late. It's too late. I'm already rolling my 5d8s. I'm getting all my 5d8s. Alright. That's 1d8. That's 2d8. That's 3d8. That's 4d8s. Where's my last d8? I have another d8. Where's my other d8? Do I get to roll 4 d8s and roll another d8? No. Oh, there's my other d8. Okay. Cool. Oh, that one got off the dice board. Let's see. Okay, so... Hey, Hell, what's your hit points? What's your hit points right now? You have to answer. You have to tell me how many hit points you have right now. 5? Oh, I'm sorry. I had 20 hit points worth in this pool. Instantly sleepy times. Enter the sleepy BP. I cast Become Eeper. Alright. Or if you use this bonus action on another, use this feature. Target. If the target passes, well, I guess that's the wisdom saving throw. They are immune to the turning up line eye for 24 can use this feature can regain the use of this feature by taking a long rest, or you may use 6 sorcery points. So let's see. Once you've used this bonus, you cannot use it again until you finish a long rest, or use 6 sorcery points to do this action again. Or you spent. Let's say spent, because I think that's the terminology I tend to use. You spent 6 sorcery points. Now we need to... Because I think that's just a fun trickster-y ability to allow you to do a lot of wacky things. And I just really like that ability to get around the same point in the game, and I think it's real silly. Let's see. Now for our capstone. Let's see. So this is a level 18 capstone. I feel like we could do something of like, because we're trying to sling charms around, right? We're trying to not only be a very, like, this sorcerer is a lot more of, like, yes, they have a lot of power of affecting nature and, you know, still being able to do sorcery things, but this is a much more social sorcerer. This is the sorcerer you have as a face and instigator, to sort of be the one who's asking questions and get the narrative and investigation rolling. Turning blind eye is more for just fun mischief. But I think for 18, right? I think for level 18 we should find a way to be able to deal damage when we inflict a charm onto someone, or have the choice to inflict harm on someone when we inflict a charm and not break it. So let's go. Oh, what is this? What's this fucking vibe? It's Yoshi's Island. Alright, so I think what we'll do is we're gonna call this... what do we call this? Heat of the moment, no. It was Heat of the Moment, Asia, 1980 year. The heat of the moment. The heat of the moment. 1982. If I can pass it for real, check out Zom 100. What's Zom 100? Oh, okay. Apparently it's gonna be a new anime. Okay. Alright. So, let's see. Gaslighting. Let's see. What could we call it? I could call it off of one of the ultimate abilities that, that was in the final boss of one of the campaigns we had called False Promises. Sweet nothings. Sweet little lies. Let's see. Beguiling battles. Let's see. How could we phrase what I'm trying to think articulately that kind of works in a cool D&D phrase of like, Gaslight, girl, keep, gate boss. Let's see. Ooh, Painful Majesty. Oh, Blissful Majesty, maybe. Yeah, I like that. I like the phrase of Blissful Majesty. Okay. At 18th level, you may, when you apply Charm Condition to a target, you may also deal. Let's see, what's a good amount of damage? Let's say, like, would 2d6 be too little? Like, maybe 2d6 plus Charisma modifier? So you're essentially hitting them with the Greatsword every round? Like, I know at level 18, that's, like, a little bit, but you could also just instantly apply it. No saving throws, and apply to any charm. Yeah, when you apply the charm condition, because, like, even if hypnotic pattern, you would just apply 2d6 plus Charisma modifier onto a massive variety of targets that way. Very simply. Deal 2d6 plus 5 psychic damage to target. This damage does not break the effects of charm. This damage does not count. This damage does not break charm or any conditions. Break charm, ignoring any conditions in which normally damage would break or force a saving throw against the charm. You may. It's a bonus action. That's a bonus action. You may apply. Apply this damage. It's a bonus action. Bonus action. You have someone charmed. Can reapply the damage. Do. Ooh, I think we should just make it less so a target. Target anyone who is in the charm condition. You can deal this damage to. Spell that targets multiple creatures or have multiple. Charm by you. May apply equal. Oh wait. What if we conveyed the more fickle nature of the Fae so that we could either heal or damage people by 2d6? I don't know. I think let's go for 2d6 because we're mostly charming people we don't want. Though, healing or damaging could be really spicy because if you're charming somebody one on your side, oh, like, because that implies for like a dominate, you could also heal them. That could be really powerful in a good way. And also a level 18, so why should we give a shit about balance, actually? You're right. You're right, me. Actually, let's just stick with damage right now. Well, we'll pose that as like a question on the Discord, which if you ever want to see any of the other homebrewed sorcerers we've done, you can go over to my Discord. And I will pose the question if we want to add healing on here as well as damage to add a bit more flexibility to your sort of thralls that you're sort of making. Your sort of fellows of the court. If you have a spell that charms multiple creatures or have multiple creatures charmed by you, number of targets equal to your growth modifier. That's something you can do passively whenever. If you feel like people have not done what you like to, be like, oh, cool, 2d6 damage, please. And you're still charmed by me, actually, I've decided. You still like me. I'm still your best friend. So, here's the vibe check of the build in its entirety. Okay, let's go. Alright, so at first we have Seelie spells. From being touched by sylvan magic, you gain the power of the courts. You gain the following spells as sorcerer spells when you level up, however they do not count against your spells. No, meaning that you'll just get these spells. When you gain a spell from this feature, you may replace from another spell from the enchantment or illusion schools of the same level. So if you're not satisfied with, say, Fairy Fire and rather feel like, I think Hex would be more appropriate for my build, or Disguise Self would be a better free spell to pick up, you can do that. These spells are more so what I would suggest for this build and flavor that we're sort of going for of this more fairy tale-esque vibe. You also gain a bonus cantrip that does not count against your cantrips. No, you can get Druidcraft to get more of that nature vibe check there of being more so you're a person who is able to be more in tune with nature. You can get Minor Illusion to get more of the trickster angle, or you could have Vigorous Mockery to be more so of like someone who is powerful with their words and more of a tricksy enchanter. If you don't decide to change any of your spells as you level with these, your default ones are Charm Person and Fairy Fire, so you're able to set up a lot of your Charm Person's able for you to set up a lot of your wacky antics. Fairy Fire is a good way to support your party, and also it's Fae themed, so of course, it also will help people from not escaping. Level 3, you get Nathar's Mischief, which is a cool debuff spell that can affect a small area of a 10-foot cube. Can get a variety of wacky debuffs for the area that can be pretty fun and wacky. Misty Step, because that's a very Fae core spell, but it's also just a really good one to have. Plant Growth, so you can really control the battlefield and feel like you have that sort of innate connection to nature. Tiny Servants, so you can start sort of animating little guys and personifying basically giving personification to creatures. Like, you can make a Pinocchio, you can make a Mrs. Potts, you can get a Lumiere, you know, you can do all wacky stuff there. You can get polymorphs, so you can turn people to frogs, or into pigs, or into sheep, you know, funny little animals. You can also turn to a T-Rex if you want to, but that's not the intent. You could also turn people into funny little creatures. You can also get grasping vines, so you could do a lot of cool battlefield crowd control with yanking the vines to get people to where you want them to be, animate objects to enable Tiny Servant to basically get the climax of, so you can get the equivalent of the end of Beauty and the Beast. Oh, good night, Our Lady's Tears. I hope we have a good sleepy BB. And Mislead, because I think it's a really fun spell and it very enables a lot of antics. And I feel like that's the core goal of this, to enable antics, right? You essentially become invisible and you have an illusionary duplicate that you can also manipulate while you're doing your own stuff, and you can see and hear through them, so you can keep up with the conversations that are happening, and do a lot of wacky stuff. Speaking of wacky stuff, you also get Nature's Ambassador. First level, you gain the ability to speak to both beasts and plants at will, allowing you to not only convey your thoughts and feelings to these creature types, but they also can speak back to you. So you can speak to animals at will, like you had beast speech from the Warlock, but also you're going to apply it to plants. So you don't need speak with plants, you have that all the time. Additionally, when you cast a spell that can do the charm condition, you may apply it to beasts or plants, even when it is not normally inapplicable. So this is how you could do a charm person onto these creatures, and it's like completely normal. You know, you don't need to invest in a different spell, and you don't need to worry about this specific condition, because I know it's like in a player perspective, when a player gets something like when a player picks a character that is a Fae, it means they can't get Charm Person or Held Person, which I think is kind of interesting. You would need a higher level spell slot to make it work, which I don't know, it's kind of wacky. Is this the summer playlist? I think it's the summer playlist. It is. You know what? No, I'm gonna go back to the level playlist because I really like that. But yeah, it allows for a lot of cool roleplay of you being able to talk to animals and plants, and it leads to things that the player go like, oh, can I do that? Oh, can I do that? And I like it when a player asks, oh, can I do this? Can I do that? Additionally, at first level, you gain advantage on saving throws against being charmed, and you can't be magically put to sleep. And additionally, at third level, if you succeed against a saving throw to be charmed, you can spend 2 sorcery points to force a target within 30 feet of you to a wisdom saving throw against your spell save DC. On failure, the target is charmed by you for 1 minute. The target can repeat the saving throw at the end of their turns during the effect, ending the effect early they see the DC. So basically, this is another thing we took from a feature we took from the Wandering Ranger, and shrunk the range and made it use a resource instead of just something you could do all the time. And it only applies to charm as opposed to charm frighten. So if someone tries to do anything, try to beguile their teammates, you could just counter that at them and do some wacky stuff. Additionally, at level 6, you get Personified Persuasion. You extend the effects of Nature's Ambassador now to also charm constructs and elementals. If the creature is normally immune to the charm condition, they make the save with advantage. You may also spend 4 sorcery points to briefly animate either inanimate objects such as chair, doll, door, pot, etc., or parts of nature such as a pond, fire, cloud, or rocks to animate them and be able to talk to them. In doing so, you may ask 5 questions to the newly formed construct or elemental, and they will answer truthfully. So this is essentially casting Speak with Dead, but to inanimate objects and parts of nature, which I think is kind of a cool utility. And it kind of costs around the same kind of value as a 3rd level spell slot for you. I don't know, I think it adds like a cool bit of utility and sense of like interrogation and curiosity to the player. Level 14, we also still into the Thing for the Wondering phase, original draft, with turning a blind eye. At level 14, you gain a special bonus action where you can force a target within 30 feet of you to make a wisdom saving throw against your spell save DC. On a failure, the target cannot see or hear you, functionally making you invisible and silent to that specific creature for hours equal to half your sorcerer level. So for you at this point, it'll be 7 hours, almost an entire long rest. You could be effectually unperceived by them specifically. When you hit an attack roll, force a saving throw on the target, or deal damage to the target, they may repeat the wisdom saving throw to perceive you. The effect ends early if they pass against your saving throw, or if you use this feature again on another target. If the target passes the saving throw, they are immediately immune to turning a blind eye for 24 hours. Once you've used this bonus action, you cannot use it again until you finish a long rest or you spend 6 sorcery points. So around the same resources that would have been a 4th level spell slot, and also it is really wacky, but I think it's really silly and it can allow you to do a lot of long-term planning and scheming, because only they can only perceive you. And it kind of creates a very interesting situation of only one thing can't see you. So it could either be an NPC you want to mess with, or it could be really bad that you want to sort of follow and like see what you could set up, and give the party like prep time and everything. Lastly, we get Blissful Majesty. At level 18, you can when you apply the charm condition to a creature, you may also deal 2d6 plus Charisma modifier of psychic damage to the target. This damage does not break charm, ignoring any conditions in which normally damage would break or force a saving throw against the charm. As a bonus action, you can have someone charmed by you. As a bonus action, when you have someone charmed by you, you can reapply the damage. If you have a spell that charms multiple creatures or have multiple creatures charmed by you, you may apply this effect to a number of targets equal to your charisma modifier. So if you have a mass charm person on people, you can apply it to up to 5 targets, 2d6 plus 5 charisma of psychic damage without them knowing, and it's not a lot, but you can just consistently apply it and apply it and apply it without them even knowing. And you could probably pull a lot of wacky stuff. It may be pretty low damage, but I don't want it to be really high damage, because even if you cast on like Gish or Gios, they're charmed for you for a month, or if you casted Awaken on someone, they're charmed for you for a month. So like you could do a lot of wild things with this and just rack up damage if you just want someone dead, because you just take it. But yeah, that is my attempt of making a base sorcerer. Tomorrow we're going to be trying to do a fiend sorcerer, which I'm kind of interested in seeing how that's going to play out, because I kind of want it to be an amalgam, like to include devils, demons, and maybe even Yugolots, but also try to make it feel unified. Like make it just a general category, so you can have that flexibility. And I'm kind of curious to see how I'm going to be able to do that without it being a bit too bloated. But it's something I really feel like I want to have, and it's something I've been wanting in D&D for a long time, and I feel like it's genuinely missing it, especially with Divine Soul existing. So, yeah. Let's see, who can we raid? You know what? Wild thing. Why don't we look at if we could find any VTubers doing D&D? I don't know how easy that's going to be because I do imagine DD being a pretty big category, but let's see what we can do and what we can make work. So let's look at Dungeons and Dragons. Hopefully, Oh, I do see. I see at least one. Oh, I see a few right away. Oh, wonderful. Oh, wonderful. One's even doing Wild the Witchlight. Oh, it's 13 sessions in though. Let's see. Did see some pretty early on though that look like they have a decent amount of viewers. Not too much. So we are going to be rating. We are going a bit into it, but I'm going to be rating a VTuber who's doing a little group called Vampirica, which sounds like a wonderful name, and they're doing a United Investigation Guild. There are a few sessions in, but let's see how the vibe check is. Let's give them a little bit of D&D support. Raid Vampirica. Alright, so thank you to anyone who came by, whether past, present, or future. I hope you have a nice day or evening and have something nice to look back on. Until next time, I'll wish you a bye-bye. You're still watching this. I'm sorry I charmed your toilet so that it wouldn't flush whenever you pissed, and when you got out the next morning, you're like, why is there still piss? I flushed it. And I just thought it'd be really funny if it just unflushed the piss. Okay, I'm sorry. It was funny, and the toilet thought it was funny.